When you think about Colt firearms, first thing that normally comes to most people's mind is going to be something like an M4, or maybe their revolvers like the Anaconda, the Python, or even the Diamondback. What you probably don't think of is a precision rifle. In fact, I forgot that they even made one until I saw this CBX. So this thing came in through my work. Obviously it's used, but it did spark something in my memory that back in 2023, I remember seeing a little blip about it from like a SHOT Show coverage. I don't even remember who it was. So curiosity definitely killed the cat on this thing. I had to find out how well this thing runs. So the first thing we're going to do to test this thing out, we're going to go ahead, shoot some groups. Then later in the video, I'll go ahead and go over this action, what makes it different, because this is definitely not just another Remington 700 clone action. It is substantially different than that, in fact. But for the ammo, what I ended up picking up, I tried to get some match grade stuff since this is a precision rifle. I picked up some 168 Center Strike Federal Gold Medal match, and then 3 different types of Hornady. The Black series with the 168 AMAX, the Precision Hunter series with the 178 ELDX, and then the Match series with the 168 grain ELDM. So let's get some of these sent down range here. I'll probably run the chronograph on it too, just because, and let's see what this thing will do. Give you a little bit of a close-up preliminary look at this thing. As you can tell, MDT does make this chassis for them, but it is definitely a little bit different action. And this one is chambered in 308. When I tried looking some stuff up on this, I mean, even on their own website, they have very, very little information. They don't even tell you what twist rate it's got on it. First ammo up, the Center Strike Federals. Do them first with no suppressor on it. Shoot 5 of them. I did previously, well, I should say when I brought this thing home, I cleaned the barrel out. I didn't know what the previous person was shooting through it. So I checked to make sure that we were close to 0 anyway. I think it's just a little bit high with these, but that's all right. So I have shot some of these and it did turn out okay. So we'll do these ones first. We'll do high right on that left side target first. Well, these first ones definitely aren't turning out as good as what they did earlier. One more. There's the first 5 in our, let me see here, SD of 17, ES of 41. Let's try the next 5 and see if we just can't do a little bit better. Aim for the top of the center diamond. Them 2 are touching. That one was wide right. I think I had a little cheek pressure on it. That will touch the previous ones. So other than that one, that wasn't too bad. On there. See how it stretched that out. It dropped the SD down to 13 and ES of 44. So Not bad numbers for factory ammo, but also not a great group. Now we'll give them a try with the suppressor on, see if we get any point of impact shift, or see if maybe the group size changes. Actually, that looks about the same height. See what the rest of the group does. Ooh. That one took a hard left. Now the group is forming down and left. I went in there with the previous one. That one stuck just a little bit, but yep, 4 of them don't look bad, but that first one was high. Next up, we'll go ahead and run the Black Series 168 grain AMAX. We'll go for the left point on the diamond. .2703, a little bit faster than the others. .2685, so we ain't getting single digit SDs out of these. It's warm. Ooh, that was a hard one to open. That was 2714. That was 2653. So the SDs on these are not very good. And it doesn't look like it likes it very well either, so we probably won't even bother shooting a second one of these. So maybe that wasn't the best ammunition to pick. That's a pretty wide ES for just 5 shots. Well, we're not going to do a second batch of those, and we're running out of light, so hopefully the next 2 will do better tomorrow morning. Well, here we are the next evening. It's a little bit windier, that's why I'm down here in the prone position. We're going to give these ELDM 168 grainers a try. Hopefully they shoot a little bit better than the 168 AMAXs do. 5 rounds, here we go. I think these might do a little better. I might have pulled that one. I might have been pushing into the gun a little harder. Wrecked that group. This time I'm going to aim at the G and the word target right there in the center on the top. Hopefully we can do a little bit better if these foul in a little. It might be sub-MOA, maybe. Not anymore, it's not. That's 3 on the bottom and 2 on the top. Yeah. Let's put the can on it and see what happens. Gonna try shooting these next 5. I'm gonna go from the bench here, but with the can on, see if it doesn't do just a little bit better with the suppressor. Failure to eject, or yeah, eject there. Might not have pulled it back hard enough. Wow, way off. Did the can come loose? Nope, still tight. Well, I think from here on out, I'm just going to leave the can off. We're not going to do that. Maybe, I don't know, this gun just doesn't like, just doesn't agree with that suppressor. I mean, especially with this stuff. On those shots, there was an SD of 14 and an ES of 36. So it's not like, as far as factory ammo goes, that's not too shabby. So, I mean, things really fell apart with that suppressor on there. So when we shoot these 178s, we just won't put the can on there. We'll just shoot them regular. The Precision Hunters, 178 grains. Maybe it likes the heavies. We can only hope. 2582 for velocity. It's not super promising. Whew. Jesus. There's 2 touching. See here what that SD of 10, or yeah, SD of 10, ES of 25. So it's not the velocity. Maybe, who knows, maybe it's got to foul in a little bit with another 5-shot group just because, who knows, maybe it'll turn out better, maybe it'll turn out worse, but so far this is definitely not impressing me. I wish I could have got some 175 Sierra Match Kings to shoot through this. If your gun doesn't shoot those, you got issues, and this thing might have issues. But let's give these a quick whirl, see what we can do. Seems like it's just continually getting worse here. Yeah, that group don't look good either. With all 10 shots, that went to an SD of 12 and an ES of 37. Well, it's getting pretty dark here. I'm gonna go back inside. Got to pick all this stuff up here. It's supposed to start raining. But I'm going to check some action screws on this thing or something. I mean, things are just falling apart. Everything feels tight. Nothing feels like it's wobbling. But man, it just seems like this thing's getting worse as we shoot it. I don't know what to say. I had some pretty high hopes with this thing. You know, at some point you start questioning, you know, is it me? You know, am I pulling some of these shots? But this is getting worse, you know. Normally I don't have a problem, you know, with my rifle shooting half MOA, you know, to 3/4 MOA on any general given day, but this thing, it just keeps getting worse. The very first groups that I shot with this, with those center strikes that I put in the short that I put out, those were the best groups that this thing has really done. And from there, it's done nothing but just get worse. I mean, I even cleaned the barrel, you know, before I started shooting, shot the center strikes, shot those AMAXs, and things didn't turn out well with those. So I actually re-cleaned the barrel then when I came out before today. So figuring, you know, maybe it was just the two different types of copper that weren't melding together. You know, but I don't know. It's not like, you know, I've shot a few more of those AMAXs just to kind of warm up, and I mean, they still didn't look good. And it just, I don't know, it's not getting any better. So the next day, I took the Trijicon off. I put my Razor Gen 2 on that I know works, so just in case that scope, if there's something up with it or the mount that it was on, whatever, because everything's all spray painted up, I went ahead, I decided to change that thing out. I also re-cleaned the barrel. I took the action out of the stock, made sure that was clean underneath there, pressed back, locked them both down, tightened it up. I've already bore sighted it, just pulled the bolt, looked down it. I fired 5 shots. First one was kind of wide right, so I went ahead and adjusted it 1/2 mil, shot 4 shots. They are in about, I'd say, 3/4 of an inch, so we're already doing better here. So what was wrong with it? I don't know, but we're gonna go ahead, shoot some more of this center strike, and let's send 5 of them down here. We'll aim, oh, at the upper left here. For this next group, I'm going to go ahead and shoot the left side of the diamond, and I think I'm going to try single feeding all these, see if the action will handle it. Because some actions kind of bobble it when you, well, it went right in. Some of them, you know, your rounds will tip forward, fall down, and they just won't do it. But we'll try a group single feeding all of them. Oh, that one didn't like it. Let me make sure that bolt's all the way back. Oh, there it did it again. Maybe we spoke too soon. Maybe it doesn't like single feeding. Got to get it all the way back. So I went ahead, put the Trijicon back on the rifle, got it re-zeroed up with the center strike ammunition, shot a 3-shot 3/4 inch group. It's pretty close to center, so I feel like that's doing pretty typical. However it fell apart that one time with this on it, I don't know, but seems to be back with the center strike. To do a little bit of handling with this thing, I'm going to go ahead and shoot it here on the barricade in a couple of positions because I got a few shots left. So we'll see how it does kind of balance wise. I mean, you can kind of see here, it's a little bit back end heavy. If we had a can on it or one set of weights, we would probably balance this thing right out. Right now, it's just kind of wanting to roll off. Overall, I mean, with everything on here, I'm going to guess that we're probably in that, you know, I'd say 13 to 14 pound range, so not super heavy. I mean, nothing like, you know, what normal PRS rifles are, but, you know, it is, I would assume, a little bit more of a tactical working gun, so in that weight realm that it is, that's about perfect. I'll do headshots on the steel plate out there. I think I got 6 rounds in the mag. Maybe we'll do 2 shots per position on here. Might have had to, probably should have backed it down a little further on the magnification, but handling of it, I mean, it's, you see here, handling of it, I mean, you can hold that, lift that pretty easy on there. So that, and only being a 24-inch barrel, you know, not having a can on it coming in and out of the barricade makes it a whole lot easier. Well, now that we burned up a couple $100 worth of ammo through this thing, let's talk about the specs on this a little bit, because when I first saw this thing, again, I went back, tried to look some stuff up on it, and even Colt's website does not have much on this rifle, other than the fact that you get a 24-inch barrel, 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor, and that it is a button rifled barrel. They don't have a whole lot to say about the rest of it. I mean, the action is definitely not just another Remington 700 clone. It is very much different. But like I said, we'll start out like with the barrel. So they don't even give you the twist rate on there. I went ahead, tried measuring it, and what I'm coming up with is it should be a 1 in 10. When I was putting the patch on the jag on the cleaning rod, I did it about 3 times, and it came out to moving about anywhere from 10 1/4 to 10 1/2. So with a little bit of slippage, I'd say it's probably about a 1 in 10 twist in there. Again, 24-inch. The barrel itself right here, they use a barrel nut system on the front side of this. I couldn't find out, you know, if it would be interchangeable with like the Remage style, the Savage threads or not. I'm not going to take it off there to find out either. The chassis that it sits in, this is made by MDT for them. It's a lot like the ACC chassis, just kind of dumbed down just a little bit. You've got the ARCA on the bottom side, M-LOK on the sides and the bottom. It's a 15-inch forearm to it. You do use, well, I'm using an AC 762P mag, but it is a AICS mag compatible. The buttstock on here, this is where it's a little bit different than the AC or the ACC. Your cheek piece is adjustable up and down, but it doesn't have the rotary wheel on here. You have to do it with just the machine screws that are on the back side of it. Same thing with the length of pull on here. Your butt pad, there's a set of shims in here, which I took a couple of them out. I think there's 4 of them on there. So I kind of shortened it up for myself. Instead of on the ACC, it does also have the wheel on there. Now let's get into this action in here. This is a flat bottom receiver. It is not a round receiver gun. So it's got an integral lug in here. When you start looking at the bolt in here, it's definitely different. Your bolt release is right here. You just press down on that little button. And there's a pin down here on the bottom side that rides in that channel right there. And that's what releases it. If you take a look at the bolt right here, it is a 6-lug bolt. If you look at the face, the round comes up from underneath your extractor right there. That is kind of a controlled or maybe a semi-controlled round feed style action there with those 6 lugs. Your ejector in here, your ejector right here is a mechanical ejector that's sprung. So it hits on your bolt release on here, so when you pull back, you can tell that it's kind of spongy in there, and that's what releases that. So it will kind of spring that back forward, pumping that ejector out, kicking your round out. So that's where I think my failures with this action kind of fell in there. I'm used to having that standard plunger ejector in there, and as soon as you pull back, it just flips out. On this, you got to make sure, thump that thing on the back to get it cleared out of the action. So some of these features, like even when you look at the back side of the bolt right here, it says Colt on there, but along with this release, it is definitely like the CZ600 series, so you can see that CZ influence on this Colt rifle. Your safety is actually on top, so if you were a lefty, that would be, handy that it's ergonomic like that. But the problem is, from the firing hand position, you really got to come off to break that safety back and forth on there. So that part, whatever. I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Should also be noted that when the safety is engaged, the bolt is locked on it. So you do need to flip the safety off to run the bolt. Now the big thing that I'll say about this, this trigger right here. It is a curved shoe, and they said in one of the interviews at SHOT Show that it is adjustable. You do have to take it out of the chassis. When I took it out of the chassis and was trying to clean up some of the paint on there, seeing if maybe that was the problem with some of these groups, there's a screw sticking out the back side here, and I tried to adjust that. Turned it out, didn't seem to make a difference. Turned it in, didn't seem to make a difference. I mean, no matter what, this thing seems to be in here at probably 4.5, 5 pounds. It is a heavy trigger. When it breaks, I mean, I'll give it the fact that, there's no creep to it. When it breaks, but it's pretty heavy on there. So, and the way that trigger is made in here, I kind of doubt that the aftermarket is just going to jump right on making something aftermarket for this. Other things to note about the gun, it does come with just an MDT angled back grip. I do like their 90-degree adjustable grip a little bit better, but this thing does suffice. When you're in the firing position, there is a little bit of a shelf here so you can rest your thumb on there. Your magazine release, standard, push button forward right there. It does come with a 20 MOA base on here. And I mean, at least on this part, they did put a Remington 700 base on here. So it's compatible with all your Remington 700s. So those would be easy enough to find if you wanted to go to a flat one, or you just wanted, I don't know, some other brand of base on there. I'll say the bolt handle here actuate this thing. It's got nice knurling on it, good texture. You know, it is somewhat of a thin and then flares out quite widely right there. So I mean, it's easy to grab a hold of. I can't say that you're going to have a problem, you know, missing that or slipping off of this bolt handle. The action in general, you know, slides pretty decently. I mean, is it as nice as a Tikka, you know, or something, you know, some of the custom actions? No, but I'll say I think it cams over a heck of a lot better. For that matter, it is a 60-degree bolt throw on there, so it's nice and short, you know, relatively easy to bring up after firing. Some of them cam over, you know, some of the Remingtons, Savages and them, you really got to hit that thing up, and this, you know, it floats over pretty easily. So my final thoughts on this thing. Overall, I'll say it's not bad. You know, for practical accuracy purposes, it does all right. I mean, Colt does tout this as a 1 MOA gun, but they also don't say how many shots that it's a 1 MOA gun. With 3 shots, could you do it? Sure. 5 shots, maybe, depending on which ammo. 10 shots, she starts getting a little bit hot and you get a few flyers here and there. So I guess that's up to you and, you know, how stringent you are on that precision of this rifle, or its capabilities. I mean, overall, I mean, I don't mind the action whatsoever. As long as I didn't short stroke that thing and hit it good on the back side of it, I didn't really have a problem with it clearing cases. I mean, overall, I had very few malfunctions, and I think the ones that did happen were my fault. I like the weight of this gun. It's that happy medium where it's heavy enough that it kind of sits itself down, but yet not too heavy to lug the thing around. I mean, some of the PRS rifles going 20 pounds plus, that's extra heavy. You know, it's not real maneuverable. This gun in there, 13, 14 pounds, you know, when it's all set up, not nearly as bad. You can maneuver this thing. I mean, if you wanted to take the thing out hunting, you could still probably do that. The big question too is, you know, would it be worth the price tag? These things sell somewhere between $1,800 and $2,000, and again, sample size being 1, you know, did this one perform up to that? I'm gonna say that's a little bit kind of on the edge of no. I would hope that we could do 5-shot groups a little bit smaller, a little bit better than that kind of inch to inch and a quarter that they were kind of landing in there once we got everything cleaned up anyway. But I mean, it's close. Again, sample size of 1. I mean, if you've got one and your shoots better than this, I mean, let me know in the comments. I mean, I wanted this gun to shoot better than what this one did, but I've got no idea what this thing went through with the previous owner either. The other thing that kind of, I guess, throws me off about, you know, if you were going to build a precision rifle, I definitely would not have a 5-pound trigger. It's at least crisp, but I mean, precision rifle and 5-pound trigger, those two things just don't mix. If this was actually my rifle, I might think about sending it back to Colt, see if they can't check that barrel, or I would give it to my gunsmith, and we'd be throwing a Krieger on there or proof research or something, and I'm sure from there on out it would be right as rain. But it is not my rifle, so this thing is going to go back, and somebody else could enjoy this thing. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I mean, I had fun making it. Any day out on the range is a good day, even if things don't quite live up to your expectations. I got quite a few more videos going to be coming your way just as soon as one rifle gets out of the gunsmiths. So hopefully we'll catch you on the next one.